So I play video games. I play them all week, off and on, obviously, depending on what's going on with everything else. But I try to make time for them because I love them, and I try to talk about them, obviously. So on top of that, I'm trying to stay just good at what I do. And I've been really getting into Apex Legends recently. And I've talked about Apex Legends before. And if you follow me from the Default Podcast, then you've probably heard me talk about it ad nauseum. But I cannot stop playing Apex Legends. And I'm going to give you my impressions on Season 3 because that's what's out right now. If you want to talk about Apex Legends when it first launched, which Apex Legends, for those of you who don't know, is a free-to-start, free-to-play, I guess, for as long as you'd like, game on the PlayStation 4, on the Xbox One, and maybe the PC. Actually, don't know. But you get into it. It's a battle royale a la Fortnite, but you're playing as squads. You jump in squads of 3, specific characters, kind of like Overwatch in that way. Remember we talked about the heroes? Same thing, kind of. But you play as these 3 squads of 3. You land on the map, and you go and you loot and you explore. Get all the good stuff that you need. And then you go into different showdowns across the map as the ring closes. And, of course, the winner takes all. Whoever is the last one standing is the champion, and they get all the accolades and all the good stuff. That is the game, and I love it so much. And I honestly wasn't even able to get into it when it first came out on the first season, I guess, and then Season 2, and even getting into the beginning of Season 3. It just took me some time, but these last couple weeks, I decided to really try to get good at the game. And after putting some time into it, something clicked, and it's just been phenomenal. But I wanted to give you my impressions on specifically the Season 3 updates, as well as the Fight or Fright stuff that's been going on with the Spooktobers, as everyone celebrates, which I absolutely love. So Fight or Fright is this game mode Apex is putting in for a little while. It's a limited game mode. Its setting is on the previous map. So with Season 3, there's an update that released a new map that everyone's dropping on now for the Battle Royale. And this old map that they had used is now being refit as this specific Fight or Fright mode. It's like a spooky set now. It's all dark instead of being during the day. And quite honestly, it's a little too simple of a mode. So how it works is everybody lands, and it's every man for himself as opposed to being in squads like the normal Apex play. Every man for himself, you land and you try to survive, typical Battle Royale style. But when you die, you come back as a shadow. These boys are basically fast zombies. They're straight demon shadow beings, and all you can do is slash, and you die very quickly as a shadow. But it's a game of essentially sharks and minnows at that point. As people die, the numbers of the shadows grow. As the shadows grow, it becomes harder and harder to survive. Classic setup. And it works pretty well, I would say overall, but it's a little too simple, like I said. You land, you're surviving for a little while. Maybe it's fun while you're fighting different people. It's great as long as you're alive, I guess. But as soon as you die, it really loses a lot of its luster. The shadows need to be buffed. As soon as you become a shadow, the game sucks. And right now that hinders the game because people actually end up just leaving. They end up just leaving the game because they don't want to be a shadow. So they need to be buffed for it to be more fun. Right now, it's just after you die, people leave, and they don't stick around and help the horde. And so the other shadows are even having a harder time. It's a mess the way that it's set up, because it's all you do when you become a shadow is you slash, and they're really weak, which means that you're constantly just dropping on the map. You're constantly, as soon as you die, you get resent back up into the drop ship, and you have to drop back down into the map. And it's annoying. It is. That said, there is some strategy to the shadow gameplay that can be satisfying if you can pull it off. So running up and actually slashing people, and I think people have started to get a little better at it. It's fun, and they're strong. They're fast and they're strong. You can wipe out a person in Apex with 2 slashes, which is amazing depending on the shield that they have. Like even regardless of the shield that they have, actually, the 2 slashes will kill any shield. I had a gold shield and one boy got me with 2 slashes, and I was ticked. But that's what happens. The shadows are strong in that way. But health-wise, they only take a couple shots to take out from any gun. It's like they're air. And so they're easy to fend off if you have a gun with 30 bullets in it, especially if there's only 5 of them coming at you. That's 2 bullets a person right there, and you're good. Like, you're only at 10. You still have 20 more bullets in your clip. And that's how it works. And so it's not very difficult, and it's becoming a little imbalanced. It's just not enough fun to go around. That said, the end game is an interesting little twist as well. So at the end, as soon as you dwindle the enemy or the player count down to 10 people, then it becomes a race to the finish. So then everyone's trying to get off on a drop ship, and if they get to the drop ship, they win. So it forces everybody to fight, basically. And depending on the numbers, it can be fun. It can work out in a great little way. The excursion, as people with the guns are trying to get onto the ship, and then all the slasher shadows are trying to get them before they get on there. It works out in a lot of different ways that are interesting and unique. But 10 legends, or the 10 like players that can get into that final round, that's just too many. Especially when they start to team up, which people are starting to figure that out. They overrun the shadows, and with people already leaving servers, it's just too many to count. That's another failing I think that they could probably shore up within that particular type of battle royale. And I'm saying all this, I know this is a limited mode, and they're probably not going to keep it around, and maybe we'll never bring it back, but I like it. I like the concept of Sharks and Minnows, and the way that it's being incorporated in battle royale. Super cool. I think it could be better, and that's what I'm trying to say. Regardless, outside of Fight or Fright, Season 3 has renewed my interest in Apex. This is the most I've played and enjoyed. Things are beginning to click. I'm seeing the fruits of the game. Why should you play it? 1, it's free. You can download it right now and hop in. 2, you can play it with me. I am playable with you. I don't think that makes sense. And then 3, it's a well-crafted first-person shooter. You jump onto, like, you can strategize enough to get to a point where you are honing the matches so they're quick and fast and exhilarating every time. So there's no, like, very little dead time anyway, outside of travel. And the amount of abilities that your characters have makes the game interesting. Every single time that you encounter another squad, the dynamic of taking out a squad and the interplay between that and your own squad requires coordination. It requires knowing every one of your character's weaknesses and strengths, and how you use those in a fight against also the enemy's weaknesses and strengths. So it's a bunch, it feels like a game of soccer every time that you come up against another squad, and I love that. You get all those interplays of strategies and the situational breakdown of even just the environment. If there's a building, that's a totally different way that gunplay is going to handle, or the way that battle's going to roll out, as opposed to if it were just on a plane. And you see the different advantages that the different characters have and how you can incorporate those into a squad. It's a fantastic game. The way that it ties all these things into a free product as well. And on top of that, the stuff that you do have to pay into, because there are things to pay for, obviously. This is a microtransaction heavy game, in fact. The things that you pay for are incredibly valuable. You can pay for characters, you can pay for skins that are dope, and you can pay for the battle pass, which unlocks all sorts of different versions of those things for you. It's a great game. It's getting better and better for me every day, and I really just want to go play it right now.